The trophy wife. For a wife trap. When a gold digger's perfect plan became a life sentence runtime, Richard Morrison was 68 years old and worth $85 million. Built his fortune in commercial real estate over 40 years. 3 office towers in Manhattan, shopping malls across the country, a life most people only dream of. He had 3 children who loved him, a legacy he was proud of, a name that meant something. What he didn't know, the 28-year-old beauty who married him was slowly poisoning him. Every morning, coffee. Every evening, tea. Tiny doses of digitalis, month after month, weakening his heart. And when Richard Morrison died of a sudden heart attack, 12 months after the wedding, his young widow inherited everything. $85 million. The houses, the businesses, everything. But Richard's daughter, Detective Sarah Morrison, knew something was wrong. And she was about to prove that some gold diggers don't just break hearts, they stop them permanently. This is the story of greed, murder, and how one determined daughter brought a killer to justice. Sometimes the trophy wife gets more than she bargained for. Spring 2022, Miami Beach. Richard Morrison was in Florida for a real estate conference, staying at the Fontainebleau Hotel. Recently widowed after his wife of 42 years passed from cancer. His children were worried. He was lonely, vulnerable, grieving. That's when he met Amber Sinclair, 28 years old. Blonde hair, blue eyes, model looks. She was working as a personal shopper at the hotel boutique. Translation: hunting for wealthy men. Amber approached Richard at the hotel bar, smiled, laughed at his jokes, touched his arm. Classic moves. Richard was flattered. After 42 years of marriage, a beautiful young woman was interested in him. His daughter Sarah warned him, "Dad, she's 40 years younger than you. This doesn't feel right." His son Michael said, "Dad, please, get a prenup at least." His youngest daughter Jennifer begged, "Dad, we just lost Mom. Don't rush into anything." But Richard was convinced. She loves me for who I am. Age is just a number. 6 weeks later, they were engaged. 3 months after that, they were married in a lavish ceremony in the Hamptons. $200,000 wedding. Ice sculptures, orchestra, champagne flowing. Amber wore a $40,000 dress. She smiled for the cameras. She played her role perfectly. Richard's children attended, but their faces told a different story. Concern, fear, anger. After the wedding, Amber made her move. "Honey," she whispered to Richard one night, "I know this is difficult, but shouldn't we update your will? I mean, we're married now. It's only right that I'm protected if something happens to you." Richard hesitated. His current will left everything to his 3 children equally. But Amber was persuasive, crying, vulnerable. "Don't you love me? Don't you trust me?" 2 months after the wedding, Richard changed his will. Primary beneficiary, Amber Morrison. His children would get nothing until Amber died. Sarah confronted him. "Dad, this is insane. You've known her for 4 months." Richard snapped. "She's my wife. You're just jealous because I'm happy." The family fractured. Conversations became tense. Holidays were awkward. And Amber? She smiled. Her plan was working perfectly. Amber didn't waste time, so she convinced Richard to put her name on bank accounts, give her credit cards with no limits, buy her a new Mercedes, a walk-in closet full of designer clothes. But that wasn't enough. She wanted it all, and she didn't want to wait 20 years for a 68-year-old man to die naturally. She started researching dark web forums, untraceable poisons, how to fake a natural death. She settled on digitalis. It's derived from foxglove plants. In small doses, it treats heart conditions. In larger doses, it causes heart failure. And it's hard to detect if the victim already has heart issues. Richard had a history of high blood pressure. Perfect. Amber bought the digitalis online using a fake name and a prepaid card. It arrived in unmarked packaging. Every morning, she made Richard's coffee. 2 drops of digitalis in the cup. Every evening, she made his tea. 2 more drops. The symptoms started slowly. Fatigue, nausea, dizziness, confusion. Richard went to his doctor. "I've been feeling off lately." The doctor ran tests. "Your heart is showing some irregularities. Stress, probably. Let's monitor it." Amber played the concerned wife. "Oh, honey, you've been working too hard. You need to rest more." But she never stopped. Every day, every dose. Richard's condition worsened. He started forgetting things, struggling to climb stairs. His skin took on a grayish tone. His children visited. They were alarmed. "Dad, you look terrible," Sarah said. "What's going on?" "Just getting older, sweetheart. Nothing to worry about." But Sarah, a detective with the NYPD for 20 years, noticed something else. Amber's behavior. She was too calm, too attentive, hovering over Richard constantly, controlling who visited and when. And she was already redecorating the house, changing things, like she owned it. "Something's wrong," Sarah told her siblings. "I don't trust her." Michael dismissed it. "You never liked her, Sarah. Dad's just old." Jennifer agreed. Let it go. Dad made his choice. But Sarah couldn't shake the feeling. November 2023, 13 months after the wedding. Richard Morrison collapsed in his bedroom. Massive heart attack. Amber called 911, screaming hysterically. "My husband! He's not breathing! Please help!" The paramedics arrived within minutes. They tried to revive him, but it was too late. Richard Morrison was pronounced dead at 7:42 p.m. Cause of death: cardiac arrest. Amber sobbed at the hospital, the grieving widow. The nurses comforted her. The funeral was held a week later. Richard's children were devastated. Sarah stood stone-faced, watching Amber. Something about her tears didn't look real. After the funeral, the will was read. As expected, Amber inherited everything. The $85 million estate, the properties, the businesses, everything. Richard's children got personal items, photos, mementos, nothing of value. Amber didn't even pretend to be sad. Within 2 weeks, she'd sold the family home and bought a penthouse in Manhattan. New furniture, new car, new wardrobe. She posted photos on Instagram, living her best life. Hashtags, hashtag, blessed hashtag, new beginnings, hashtag, living my dream. Sarah saw the posts and felt sick. This woman wasn't mourning. She was celebrating. That's when Sarah decided, I'm going to investigate. Sarah Morrison had 20 years of experience as an NYPD detective. She'd worked homicides, cold cases. She knew when something didn't add up. Her father's death? It didn't add up. She started digging. First, she requested her father's medical records. His cardiologist said Richard's heart had been fine 6 months before the wedding. Normal EKG, good cholesterol, healthy for his age. But in the months after the wedding, rapid deterioration. Sarah pulled the autopsy report. Cause of death, cardiac arrest due to arrhythmia. But there was a note. Elevated levels of digoxin detected in blood work. Digoxin, a heart medication. But Richard wasn't prescribed digoxin. Sarah's instincts kicked in. She called the medical examiner. Why was there digoxin in my father's system if he wasn't taking it? The ME paused. Sometimes it's prescribed without being listed, or it could be digitalis from herbal supplements. Can you test for digitalis poisoning? We'd need to exhume the body, and you'd need cause for a court order. Sarah knew she needed more evidence. She started following Amber, watching her movements, tracking her spending. Within 3 months of Richard's death, Amber had spent $4 million. Designer clothes, jewelry, a new Porsche, first-class trips to Paris, Dubai, Monaco. Sarah dug into Amber's past, and that's when things got interesting. Amber Sinclair wasn't her real name. Her real name was Amber Kowalski, born in Ohio, dropped out of high school, history of petty theft, drug possession, fraud charges. And here's the kicker. Amber had been married before. Twice. Both husbands were older, wealthy, and both had died of heart attacks within 2 years of marriage. Both times, Amber inherited everything. Sarah's blood ran cold. She contacted the police departments in those jurisdictions. The cases had been closed as natural deaths, no investigations. But Sarah knew better. She had a serial killer on her hands. Sarah couldn't do this alone. She needed help. She contacted the FBI, showed them everything she'd found. The agent assigned to the case was Michael Torres, a veteran investigator specializing in financial crimes and suspicious deaths. "This is compelling," Torres said, reviewing the evidence. "But we need hard proof. We need to connect her directly to the poison." Sarah had an idea. She contacted a private investigator to go through Amber's trash. Legal if it's on public property. Bingo. They found receipts, online purchases, encrypted email printouts. And they found something even better. An empty bottle labeled digitalis tincture, hidden in a makeup bag, thrown out 3 weeks after Richard's death. Sarah took it to the FBI lab. They found traces of digitalis and Amber's fingerprints all over the bottle. Next, Sarah got a court order to exhume her father's body. The toxicology came back, lethal levels of digitalis in his system, consistent with chronic poisoning over several months. The FBI obtained Amber's computer. Digital forensics recovered deleted search history. How to poison someone without getting caught. Digitalis overdose symptoms. Untraceable heart attack methods. How long does digitalis stay in system? They had her. Torres and Sarah presented the case to the district attorney. Arrest warrant issued. March 2024. 4 months after Richard's death, Amber was at a luxury spa in the Hamptons, getting a massage, drinking champagne, living the life she murdered for. FBI agents walked in, badges out. "Amber Morrison, you're under arrest for the murder of Richard Morrison." Amber's face went white. "What? This is insane. My husband died of a heart attack. We have evidence you poisoned him with digitalis over a period of 6 months. You have the right to remain silent." Amber tried to run. The agents tackled her. Cameras caught everything. The arrest went viral. The news exploded. Trophy wife arrested for murder. The case made national headlines. Prosecutors charged Amber with first-degree murder, premeditated, for financial gain. They also reopened the cases of her 2 previous husbands, exhumed both bodies. Both showed elevated digitalis levels, and Amber was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. The trial began in September 2024. The prosecution presented overwhelming evidence. Digitalis found in Richard's system bottle with Amber's fingerprints, online searches on her computer. Financial motive, $85 million inheritance pattern of behavior, 3 dead wealthy husbands. The defense tried to argue coincidence. Richard was old. He had heart problems. This is speculation. But Sarah testified. Cold, factual, devastating. She walked the jury through every piece of evidence, every lie Amber told, every manipulation. The jury saw Amber's Instagram posts, celebrating weeks after Richard's death. They saw the search history, the deleted files, the lies. The defense fell apart. After 3 weeks of testimony, The jury deliberated for 6 hours. Verdict: guilty on all 3 counts of first-degree murder. The courtroom erupted. Amber collapsed, screaming, "I didn't do anything. This isn't fair." The judge showed no mercy. "You systematically murdered 3 innocent men for their money. You are a danger to society." Sentence: life in prison without the possibility of parole. 3 consecutive life sentences. Amber was dragged out, sobbing. Richard Morrison's estate was returned to his children. Sarah, Michael, and Jennifer finally had closure. They established the Richard Morrison Foundation, funding heart disease research and supporting victims of financial abuse. Amber Sinclair sits in a New York maximum security prison. She'll die there. Her Instagram account? Deleted. Her penthouse? Sold. Her designer clothes? Auctioned off. Everything she killed for? Gone. Sarah Morrison continued her work as a detective. She never forgot what her father taught her. Always trust your instincts. And those instincts saved justice from being poisoned along with her father. As for the other families of Amber's victims, they finally got answers. Finally got peace. 3 wealthy men lost their lives to a woman who saw them as nothing more than dollar signs. But karma had the final word. Amber Sinclair thought she found the perfect crime. Marry rich, poison slowly, inherit millions, repeat. But she didn't count on one thing: a daughter who refused to accept that her father's death was just bad luck. If your parent married someone 40 years younger and suddenly died, would you investigate? Smash that like button if this story gave you chills. And subscribe for more true karma and justice stories. We post new ones every week. Drop a comment. Did Amber deserve life in prison, or should it have been worse? Thanks for watching, and remember, justice might be slow, but it never forgets. See you in the next story.